Hello everyone, you have come to Tata Comic Preview channel. Let read together. Have fun. Only during his journey back earlier did Mingxirin carefully consider it. After all, the lotus-severing era had dawned quite a while ago, the tides were changing. He was truly in a dilemma. In the end, he said, Master. Sixth junior sister can use this. She has been at the 8-leaf stage longer than I have. Her foundation must be more stable. Yi Tianxin has never recovered from her past injuries. Her cultivation base has never reached the peak as well. She needs more time, Lu Zhou said with his hands on his back. The 4 elders of the Evil Sky Pavilion are old. After recultivating to the 8-leaf stage, they won't be able to compare to the younger generation. Lu Zhou continued to say, your eldest and second senior brother are possibly in trouble in the Red Lotus domain. From what we know now, the Red Lotus domain is much more powerful than the Golden Lotus domain. They haven't returned even after all this time. I'm certain that they've run into some problems. I'm going to bring both of them back. However, before that, I can't leave until there's a second 9-leaf cultivator in Great Yen. Do you understand? Mingxirin understood his master's concern, and he was impressed by it. Among your fellow disciples, you're the one I worry about the least. Mingxirin widened his eyes when he heard these words. He looked up and met his master's gaze. Perhaps, he was imagining things or thinking too much, but his master seemed to have aged further. Time waited for no man. Even his ever-powerful master would grow old one day. The younger generation would have to take center stage sooner or later. In the end, he bowed and said, with your faith in me, I'll do my best, master. Good. Go back and prepare for it. When the time is right, I'll keep watch for you, Lu Zhou said. Mingxirin was moved. Understood. Then, he retreated from the room respectfully. Many people in the world wished to be protected by the Evil Sky Pavilion, but it was similar to asking for the moon. This opportunity he was given could only be hoped for, but not obtained. The Sky Martial Court in the Red Lotus domain. Mo Bian entered the hall. He bowed at Elder Qiu and said, Elder Qiu, the final person in the Golden Lotus domain, Zhang Wu. His life stone has shattered. Elder Qiu was much calmer than before when he received this news. Perhaps, there was the precedent of Fa Kong's death, so he was not surprised that someone with Zhang Wu's cultivation base would die as well. He opened his eyes and said, he's alone in the Golden Lotus domain. It's impossible for him to conceal his avatar for so long unless he lived in the wilderness. I expected as much. Mo Bian nodded. Then, he said with a sigh, looks like the Golden Lotus domain is much more powerful than we thought. Also, the research on the Sky Chariot is almost done. What do you think that we should do now? Leave it for now. We'll come up with a new plan to understand the Golden Lotus's true strength. One Sky Chariot won't be enough. If a single 9-leaf cultivator is all they have, we'll need 10 Sky Chariots. I think the elites of Great Tang won't mind having a slice of the cake. Mo Bian was shocked. This plan was slightly bold. When they remained motionless, they did nothing, but when they made a move, they would launch a large-scale invasion on the Golden Lotus domain. After a moment, he said, also, we've received word from the Flying Star House. Their elder, Liang Zidao, and his subordinates, Yun Huan and Yun Luan, brought 80 disciples to the Thousand Willow Monastery. All of them are dead. Elder Qiu widened his eyes, and his brows were slightly furrowed. Before this, it was only a trivial matter, and they did not have to worry about the Flying Star House. However, it seemed like matters were not as simple as they imagined. The Flying Star House and the Sky Martial Court were the closest allies. Who would act against the Flying Star House? Has the Thousand Willow Monastery grown so bold now? It's complicated. Moreover, I don't think the 9th Temple has a hand in this, Mo Bian said. Why do you say that? The 9th Temple's 8-leaf cultivator, Kong Lu, was attacked by a saber user and was heavily injured. This saber user is in Thousand Willow Monastery. The 9th Temple has sent experts to the Thousand Willow Monastery, Mo Bian said. Interesting, interesting. Elder Qiu sighed with relief. As long as it isn't the ninth temple. Meanwhile, in the Thousand Willow Monastery. In front of Fair Hall. The monastery master, Xia Chengqiu, had no other choice but to maintain a cordial relationship with Zhenghai and Zhengrong. Based on what Elder Tian told him, the duo had unfathomable cultivation bases. He sighed. He was only worried about the fact that the duo was from the Golden Lotus domain. Xia Chengqiu looked down at the gazebo from the sky. Ji Fingxing was practicing with a saber and a sword outside the gazebo. Xia Chengqiu shook his head and sighed. I wonder if this is the right or wrong choice. I'm ashamed to face my predecessors due to my own powerlessness. Tian Buji flew to his side and looked down as he said, Monastery Master, I think that this might be an opportunity. I hope so. Xia Chengqiu sighed. Since I've made the choice, I can't regret it. There's no other way but forward. Tian Buji clenched his hands. That's right. We can only move forward. In the gazebo. Zhenghai stood with his hands on his back as he observed Ji Fingxing's saber practice. You've improved quite a lot. You seem much more familiar with it now. Zhengrong nodded and said, your swordplay is rather good as well. You'll surely achieve something if you keep at it for a decade. A decade. Ji Fingxing wanted to cry. Zhenghai no longer looked at Ji Fingxing. He said, second junior brother, we've killed the members of the Flying Star House without giving it much thought. How are we going to deal with them if they send a 9-leaf cultivator our way? What do you think we should do, eldest senior brother? We're both stuck at the 8-leaf stage for many years, especially you. You've recultivated to the 8.5-leaf stage. There are many dangers in the Red Lotus domain. The Black Water Mystic Cave itself has a high mortality rate. If we want to return safely, we must reach the 9-leaf stage, Zhenghai said. Do you have a way to reach the 9-leaf stage, eldest senior brother? Zhengrong asked. Zhenghai patted his pocket and said, Master has given me Qi Yao's heart. It grants a person 1,200 years of life. With it, I can reach the 9-leaf stage. Zhengrong glanced at him wordlessly. Zhenghai said, Master has also given me the desolate grey jasper saber. If I become a 9-leaf cultivator, I can surely bring you safely back to Great Yen. It was clear he was trying to show off. However, when he saw Zhengrong remaining silent, he thought, perhaps, he had gone overboard. After all, his second junior brother was short-lived to begin with and had severed his lotus. Surely, his second junior brother had suffered greater hardship than him. Moreover, now that his junior brother heard about how their master favored him, his junior brother must not feel good. In the end, he said, if you need it, I can give you Qi Yao's heart. There's no need for that, Zhengrong calmly replied, how are you going to reach the 9-leaf stage without that thing? I can reach that stage without relying on an external object. In other words, he was implying that their master had given his senior brother Qi Yao's heart because their master thought his senior brother was too weak. Zhenghai. While they were engrossed in their conversation, Wu leaped off the gazebo and said, Big brother, look there. A person was riding a white crane on the horizon, flying in their direction. The two disciples from the Evil Sky Pavilion exchanged a look. Ji Fingxing noticed it as well. He exclaimed in shock, Big brother, quickly run. It's the 9th Temple's Zhu Xian. Zhenghai stepped out of the gazebo into the air and asked, who is 9th Temple's Zhu Xian? Ji Fingxing appeared anxious. He quickly approached the duo and tugged on their sleeves. There's no time to explain. Run. However, the white crane moved like a bolt of lightning. In just a moment, it had arrived in the Thousand Willow Monastery. An old man who seemed to be in his 70s sat on the white crane. His eyes were lively. He was holding a black brocade box. He asked loudly, where's Xia Chengqiu? Above Thousand Willow Monastery. Xia Chengqiu had seen the white crane earlier. With Tian Buji, he led 1,000 disciples over. Brother Zhou, I didn't know that you're coming. What brings you here? Xia Chengqiu did not expect that a 9th Temple elite would arrive before the members of the Flying Star House. Zhu Xian said, Kong Lu has been unexpectedly attacked. I heard there's a saber user here in the Thousand Willow Monastery. He's the one who injured Kong Lu. Upon hearing this, Xia Chengxiu frowned slightly. Tian Buji said in a hushed tone, "We have a mole." Xia Chengxiu's eyelid twitched. The Thousand Willow Monastery was already past its prime. Was there a need to use such a despicable method? Zhenghai flew up into the sky and asked, "Are you looking for me? Are you that saber user?" Zhu Xian's eyes quickly found Zhenghai. At the same time, he saw the jasper saber at Zhenghai's waist. Ji Fengxing said nothing else. He flew up and rammed into Zhenghai's waist as he flew eastward. Run. Too late. Zhu Xian pushed his palm out. The brocade box in his hand flew out as well. The brocade box shone with a dazzling red light. It was as dazzling as the blue lotus. The Ninth Temple's peak desolate grade treasure, the square box. Xia Chengxiu was shocked. The square box obtained its name from its shape. It was impregnable like a fortress, and when it was activated, it would transform into a cage so huge that it seemed capable of caging the entire world. Its range was so wide that it would be difficult for one to escape. Among binding weapons, it was rather formidable. Even Zhu Xian did not have complete mastery over the square box. The box was the Ninth Temple's prized possession and was also the temple's only desolate grade weapon. When Zhu Xian threw the square box out, it shot toward and bore down on Zhenghai like a huge mountain. Zhenghai easily pushed Ji Fengxing aside. After all, Ji Fengxing was only in the Brahmin 8 Meridians realm, and it would not be good if he was caught in the middle of a battle between those in the nascent divinity realm. As Ji Fengxing was sent flying back, he cried out, "Trust me, you should leave." How could Zhenghai heed Ji Fengxing's suggestion of fleeing? He had always been someone who looked down on elites. Therefore, he acted as though he did not hear Ji Fengxing's words as focused his attention on the square box. "Stand back." Zhenghai leaped. He extended his right arm, and the jasper saber flew up swiftly into his hand. The jasper saber was wrapped in energy as it flew up to meet its target. Dozens of energy sabers arranged themselves into the shape of a long dragon and struck the square box. Zhu Xian's eyes widened. He frowned as he said, "I knew it. Golden energy." Upon seeing this, Yu Shangrong looked up slightly. His longevity sword vibrated on his back, as though nudging him to take action. Meanwhile, since Ji Fengxing could not dissuade Zhenghai, he landed next to Yu Shangrong and tried to dissuade Yu Shangrong instead. He pleaded in a low voice, "Please leave. We can't afford to cross the Ninth Temple." "Why not?" Ninth Temple rarely meddles in the affairs of the world, but it's still a major sect on par with the Sky Martial Court and the Flying Star House. A century ago, the Ninth Temple suddenly took an interest in foreign worlds and sent its men into the Blackwater Mystic Cave to reach the other side. However, the Sky Martial Court unexpectedly shut the cave and prohibited anyone from going in or out. Over the years, they started to have more and more conflicts. Ever since then, they have had a rocky relationship, Ji Fengxing said in a slightly worried tone. Meanwhile, with a flurry of movements, Zhenghai appeared above the square box and brought his saber down with both hands. With this, the desolate grade jasper saber was pitted against the desolate grade square box. Bam! 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 The golden energy and the red energy collided, and the aftershock rippled into the surroundings. The disciples from the Thousand Willow Monastery were sent flying by the backlash. All the spectators had to activate their energies to block the aftershock. Yu Shangrong glanced at Zhu Xian. At this moment, Zhu Xian was observing Zhenghai calmly as he controlled the square box. Indeed, his strength and cultivation base was something to contend with. He was not any weaker than the Flying Star House's Liang Zidao. Does this mean that the Thousand Willow Monastery has offended everyone? Yu Shangrong asked as he calmly watched the battle in the air. Ji Fengxing said with a bitter expression, "I know that you have a profound cultivation base, but the Ninth Temple is different from the Flying Star House. The Ninth Temple never openly makes their move. The forces that stood against it have never ended well. The Ninth Temple is extremely skilled in assassination. 50 years ago, an elite from the Flying Star House who had just entered the Nine-Leaf stage was heavily injured by the Ninth Temple. Even the Blood Sun Temple's monk, Fa Kong, who's a rare elite who has mastered the Red Lotus karmic fire, would have to restrain himself in front of the 9th temple. As he said this, he prepared to push Yu Shangrong away. He was clearly incredibly anxious. Yu Shangrong merely patted Ji Fingxing's shoulder and said, "There's no need to be nervous. Nobody's cultivation path is smooth and without obstacles. Only by overcoming hardships can we rise higher." The Thousand Willow Monastery's master, Xia Chengxiu, continued watching the battle between Yu Zhenghai and Zhu Xian. The area affected by the aftershocks grew wider as well. "Stand back." With this order, the disciples retreated further. Zhu Xian frowned deeply as he looked at Yu Zhenghai moving swiftly in front of him. Yu Zhenghai would launch energy sabers from the Jasper Saber every now and then, parrying the incoming blasts of red energy from the square box. It's no wonder Kong Lu was defeated. He's no ordinary 8-leaf cultivator. Based on their brief exchange, Zhu Xian had a vague idea of Yu Zhenghai's true strength. He no longer wasted any time and made several hand gestures. At this moment, Xia Chengxiu called out loudly, "Wait, brother Zhu." Bam! Zhu Xian slowed down. The square box was pushed back before it came to stop, still spinning. Yu Zhenghai flew back and looked at Zhu Xian. Meanwhile, Zhu Xian said to Xia Chengxiu, "You colluded with these foreign tribesmen, and I have yet to hold you accountable for that yet. And yet, you're trying to stop me now?" Xia Chengxiu shook his head and said, "This must be a misunderstanding. If he has offended you, I'm willing to apologize to you on his behalf, brother Zhu." "No need." Then, Zhu Xian looked at Yu Zhenghai and said, "I want to take him away. Who dares to stop me?" Yu Zhenghai, who was holding the Jasper Saber, replied, "You'll have to see if you're capable of that first." With a flurry of movements, his energy sabers shot out again, fiercer than before. Avatar. Zhu Xian summoned his avatar. The 8.5-leaf red lotus under the avatar bloomed, emitting primal qi. The 140-foot avatar was a testament to his cultivation base. The Thousand Willow Monastery disciples exclaimed in shock upon seeing this. This was the closest they had gotten to the 9-leaf stage. Yu Zhenghai did not expect Zhu Xian's cultivation base to be more profound than Liang Zidao. The key was that Zhu Xian had the square box, a weapon that was almost at the peak of the desolate grade. Yu Zhenghai focused on attacking. He wielded his saber with both hands, from which his energy burst forth. The huge energy saber slashed at the square box again. At this moment, the square box was already several meters in size. Bam! The energy saber struck the square box. The box was sent spinning back. Zhu Xian snorted and lunged forward with his Red Lotus avatar. At this moment, Yu Zhenghai summoned his avatar as well. The two avatars faced each other. The 100-foot avatar stood before the 140-foot avatar as the red energy and golden energy collided. Boom! A halo of energy rippled out vertically. "Take cover." Ji Fingxing and Wu moved away from the gazebo before the vertical energy halo struck the gazebo. With a crack, the gazebo was sliced in half by the energy. Yu Shangrong was the only one who did not move. An energizer barrier protected him from the aftershock of the collision. Yu Zhenghai wielded his saber with his avatar in tow and advanced. Zhu Xian would never allow a desolate-grade weapon to touch his avatar, so he withdrew his 140-foot avatar. At this moment, the square box emerged from behind him, its size larger than before. Bam! 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 At this moment, the square box blocked several energy sabers. It created some distance between the two opponents as it continued to spin in position as it increased in size. Zhu Xian and Yu Zhenghai both launched their attacks again. One used palm seals while the other used energy sabers. Their attacks collided above the square box. The impact of the collision pushed both of them back. Xia Chengxiu led the others and went after the two opponents. Yu Shangrong took flight as well. Meanwhile, Ji Fingxing and Wu tried their best to keep up with the others. After flying past a mountain, they found the opponents battling in a valley. "I didn't expect our friend to be able to hold out for so long against Zhu Xian." Xia Chengxiu was greatly shocked. Tian Buji nodded. However, Zhu Xian has yet to strike with all his might. Moreover, the square box isn't an easy weapon to deal with. Similarly, Zhu Xian did not expect an 8-leaf cultivator was capable of holding up against the square box as well. He raised a palm. The square box hovered in the air and moved swiftly. Like a red square lantern, it shot toward the space above Zhenghai. Zhu Xian made several hand signs again. Impurities scattered in the natural world, unfathomable mysteries in the deep cave. Mighty gods of the 8 directions, grant me the power to become one with nature. Qianluo, Dana, Donggang, Taixian. The square box instantly increased its size to that of a large mountain and bore down on Zhenghai. Zhenghai glanced at the box as he summoned his avatar and unleashed his grand technique. However, the square box flew out, unimpeded, toward the space above Zhenghai. Zhu Xian pushed both palms out. With his 140-foot avatar, he controlled the square box. Zhenghai tossed his jasper saber up. He chose an unexpected method, he chose to advance instead of retreat. He attacked the bottom of the square box. Zhenghai pushed a palm out. The Great Dark Heaven Palm. Bam! The square box was struck by the huge palm strike and was pushed up. Zhenghai launched another palm strike. Bam! Meanwhile, the jasper kept spinning around the palm seal as energy sabers materialized around the golden avatar. Zhu Xian frowned. This child's strength exceeds my expectations. Kong Lu, you did not lose in vain. However, if I can't take him down, I would tarnish the 9th Temple's reputation. The red lotus flew up. With a burst of movement, Zhu Xian appeared above the square box with his red lotus avatar. Boom! With his avatar, Zhu Xian stood on top of the square box before it dropped down. Meanwhile, Yu Shangrong looked up. A cold breeze caused his robes to flutter in the air. Zing! The longevity sword flew out of its scabbard. Yu Shangrong raised his right hand, and his longevity sword flew into his hand. He remained silent as he continued to look at the red lotus avatar above the square box. In the next second, he disappeared into thin air.